Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm CBS19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony here at the CBS19 Weather Center, coming on our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, and also CBS19 Plus to stream some live weather coverage with a fairly large cell that is getting ready to move into southern Smith County. It has prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Smith, northwestern Cherokee County until 9:15. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain, but something else inside this cell that is prompting the warning, and that is going to be hail. And there is the possibility to see some very large hail within this cell. As I turn off the lightning, you'll be able to really see what we're talking about. And I'll zoom down onto this area here. We're looking at a hail core that may be producing up to golf ball sized hail somewhere just west of Coffee City, near Moore Station, just to the east of LaRue and New York. And this is tracking eastward at 30 miles an hour. So Flint and Teaselsville and Bullard would all be within the path of this hail core. Again, it could be producing up to golf ball sized hail. So 2 to 2.5 inch hail, and you can see it's just kind of drifting to the east and to the southeast at that 30-mile-an-hour pace. So that takes it into Coffee City within about 8 minutes. So if you have a car that needs to get covered up, plants that might get torn apart by a larger hailstone, something of that nature, that would be the case there. Berryville at about 8:39, Teaselsville around 8:47, Bullard here in about a half hour, and then toward Mixon at 9:11 and Troop at 9:23. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning also issued. Looks like we have an extension on Anderson and Henderson County until 9 o'clock. Also a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 8:30 for that western part of Henderson County. But our big concern here is this hail core that we are watching moving toward Coffee City at the time. And it has the potential to do some damage in terms of hailstones. So hailstones that could, damage some cars, could damage roofs, could break windows if the wind was to be strong enough. Now you can see it just kind of creeping to the east a little bit. Let me turn off our Titan storm indicator and move on down. We'll zoom all the way down into this cell here and give you a good look at just how close it is to Coffee City at this time. So again, moving to the east at about 30 miles an hour. Around that, we have some other severe thunderstorm warnings, which I'll talk about in just a second, but just wanted to give you an idea of where this cell is of the most immediate concern as it moves toward Coffee City, Berryville. Like I said, that would include Wiley Drive, Eagles Bluff Boulevard, over toward Teaselsville, toward FM 2137. So that cell and that hail core, they look like they've pretty well maintained themselves here in the last, say, half hour, last few scans. There's another storm, another hail core down here back to the west that's approaching Fairfield. That would approach also toward Palestine if it can stay together. But let me go add back in the radar, and again, there's just a ton of lightning, heavy rain also on top of this cell. This is all within and along the cold front as it's moving into East Texas tonight. So you've got a couple of other severe thunderstorm warnings over deep East Texas, but the one of most concern right now is going to be that cell that has just moved into southern Smith County, northwestern Cherokee County, and a lot of lightning. We're getting so many lightning strikes with this that you may just constant sound of thunder currently if you are watching and listening to us at the same time. In fact, I could turn on the lightning counter here, and this will give us up to 238 lightning strikes within the last 15 minutes. So almost constant lightning within this cell as it tracks across southern Smith County. Again, Teaselsville, Bullard, Flint would also be in the path of that storm. I am on Facebook Live trying to monitor and answer any questions you might have. We're also streaming on our CBS19 Plus channel and our YouTube channel. And on YouTube channel, you can add some comments. We appreciate y'all taking time out watching this stream here as we try to help keep you protected from the storm. I got to clear something out here. That severe thunderstorm warning is probably going to flash to a white screen, but I'll get rid of it real soon. Okay. So we're back to that cell again. It is south of Tyler. Tyler will not be affected by the large hail core. I think that's just as important to tell everyone. Edom will not be impacted, nor will Tatum, nor will Longview or Mineola. In fact, Mineola is not even in the severe thunderstorm watch at this time. Jacksonville, we have to keep an eye on this cell. It right now is kind of drifting. I'll back it up here for you real slowly, and you can see it's kind of drifting east and just kind of a little bit to the southeast. So if it were to make a hard right-hand turn, and that last little cell, screen grab there or that last frame, it looks like it's just kind of making a harder southeast turn toward Jacksonville, riding along the front. So if the frontal boundary picks up speed, this cell will also start diving southward. That's why Jacksonville is inside the severe thunderstorm warning. I also have to look back here to the west. These cells have kind of congealed into one large thunderstorm complex from south of Corsicana, and that is headed toward Palestine in northwestern Anderson County. But right now, southern Anderson County would not be in that warning, nor would Rusk County. No warnings currently there, or Panola County, or in Gregg County. But northern Smith County, city of Lindale, you're fine at this time. Tyler will miss out on that cell. You're probably seeing lightning, maybe even hearing some thunder from the distance, as thunder can travel. The sound of thunder can travel up to 80 miles away from a thunderstorm, and so there's a possibility to be hearing that at a great distance. All right, we had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings over deep East Texas. Now we're down to the San Augustine and Sabine and southern Shelby County storm, and that goes until 8:45. So that's going to be in effect here for about another 15 minutes. But let me go back and check and see if the hail core is still up on this storm. Again, that's the biggest concern we have with this cell at this time. It's the hail core near Coffee City. It looks like it's moving into Coffee City. If you can safely take a photo for us, we would appreciate that, because we want some verification. I can share that with the Weather Service and let them know that they warned the storm, and warning the storm was the appropriate thing to do, since that hail core would have verified. Looks like the southern end also of Lake Palestine, so that's going to put it into perhaps the Emerald Bay community in and near Lake Palestine, where the marina is near Lake Palestine. Also, like we just had Teaselsville up on the screen, and I think Noonday may just skirt past this cell, but Berryville, Pointer's probably going to miss this cell, or this cell will miss Pointer. You can see that hail core is just kind of drifting, trying to expand back to the east a little bit to include more of Lake Palestine. So a lot of the lake and Lake Holmes, lake communities around that may be impacted by this larger hailstone. Again, this is radar estimated, so I don't have any verification, but radar estimated usually does a pretty good job here on this golf ball sized hail. And if you're looking at which part of it is the golf ball sized hail part, it is the purple part right in the middle there. So I'll circle it for you and give you an idea of what we're talking about. So it's going to be, if indeed I can circle it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, so right in there. So that is the larger hailstones inside the whole hail core. Now, outside of that, there could be some nickel-sized hail up to Moore Station. There could be some marble-sized hail just getting into Berryville right now. But it's that hail core in the middle, that purple area that's tracking eastward at 30 miles an hour, that could impact Teaselsville or Bullard, and continuing moving across southern parts of Smith County and now northwestern parts of Cherokee County, which are also included in the warning at this time. Let me see if we have any comments here on, yes we do, several on Facebook, so appreciate you all hanging out with us. We've got Chastity, thank you. Is that coming to Henderson, Texas? Colton, if it held together, it would make it to Henderson. It'd be more than an hour from now if that were to happen. Longview is in the clear. Yes, Matthew, Longview is in the clear. This is moving to the east. Yeah, to the east with a slight southeast kind of, not want to say turn, but this slight southeast sort of shift. So you can see how it came out of New York, Texas toward Moore Station, and then as it passed through LaRue, it's just been sort of on this slightly southward track, but more easterly. So I would count more cities, say Mount Selman, maybe Frankston's probably going to miss it. Coffee City probably not going to miss that hail core. If it continues eastward like it is, it'd be over toward Bullard and Troop, and possibly shifting down toward New Summerfield and Jacksonville within the hour, and down toward Gallatin. But Rusk County itself, it's still, this warning goes until 9:15, so this would likely take it maybe till 10 o'clock before, so an hour and a half before it ever got over to Rusk County. That is if it doesn't weaken. It did have a lot of energy that it was working with. Yeah, Elysian Fields is in the clear. Yes, Justin, you're fine. You're in the clear. There might be a shower behind the front, but Elysian Fields is in the clear. What about Tatum? Tatum is also, well, Tatum has to keep an eye out for this cell and just see more so where in the direction, if it could continue in that easterly direction, though I have a feeling it's going to probably miss Tatum. But you do have some other showers out there, non-severe thunderstorms. You can see Tatum, just a little shower went by. And you, again, if you look at this, and I'll try to run this back just for one little clip here, and you'll see it coming in here. It's got to fill in all the data. It's, I think that's a pretty good indication of how it's moving. If you just pick that up, I'll do it again. Using different radar data, it's probably better if I went back and you kind of get a better feel for it frame by frame. So it was up, it looked like it was moving toward Chandler, and then it dove to the southeast. So it really is headed more toward Mount Selman and Blackjack now. It may just clip White House, but the core may go across northern Cherokee County. So it definitely has taken sort of a right-hand turn as it's been moving eastward at the same time. The frontal boundary that we are tracking and where this thunderstorm has formed along, it's formed along that frontal boundary, and that frontal boundary right now is essentially draped from, let me see if I can get, got to activate it. Here we go. This frontal boundary is essentially right in here. So just north or just southeast of Tyler. So the thunderstorms are all going to be to the south and east of the front where the larger hail core will be. And again, now that the sun is set, we're going to start to lose some energy in the atmosphere, and so that hail core may come down as we see this thing move to the south and east. In fact, if I zoom in on it just a little bit, it does look like it's come down a little bit from the golf balls. Maybe a couple areas of some $half to golf ball sized hail still in there, but not as large, not as widespread as it was. Let's see. Tanya, thanks for alerting other folks to this. Is Overton in the clear? Madison, yes. Overton is going to be in the clear from this. It's from that cell. Now Overton may get a thunderstorm, but from that hail core, you are in the clear at Overton. In fact, it looks like just looking at the radar, if we put it into motion, it probably, if it just brushes Overton, that would be the northern half of that storm. So you'd have some thunder and lightning, but no hail with that hail core right now. In fact, Overton is probably, the front is probably sitting right on Overton right now. Leah Williams asking Kelly Pugh, is it tornado attic weather? Huh. Liberty City, what about Rusk, hail and Flint? Mel, possible for hail and Flint. We got to keep an eye on the storm itself now that it's made it to Teaselsville. So you're looking at noonday, and then if you go out toward Bullard, so you may just catch a little bit of that in Flint. Let me go back to the hail core. I'll turn the radar off so we can see the hail core. It's still just kind of sitting there west of Coffee City, but I would say at this time in Flint, I would prepare for the possibility of that hail core moving overhead. Now we're hoping that it weakens before it gets there, but it looks like it's more tracking. Let me put a new track on it, just adjusting for its kind of shifted movement a little bit. It's moving east and slightly southeast, so it's more kind of in this toward Blackjack and out there toward Pleasant Grove. That would be an hour from now. So Teaselsville and Berryville still in the path potentially to see up to golf ball sized hail. Certainly some quarter-sized hail would be inside this cell. Sometimes radar can overestimate the size of the hail just simply for the distance that we are shooting away from the radar site. I'm going to turn back on something. I want to do another inspection using our Titan indicator inside this cell. Just a heads up on that time: Berryville, Teaselsville, Mount Selman, Mixon, and Blackjack. All right, so our Titan indicator suggests that we've got a 100% chance of hail in there, and inside, I have to, hold on, we got something, so we got some bad data there coming in. Get rid of that. Okay, so we have a 100% chance that there is some hail. Now, our latest Titan indicator scan suggests that there may even be some larger hailstones in that. So notice that it says 3.1, so that would be up from the golf ball size to almost tennis ball sized hail. But I don't see that correlating here. That purple looks more like golf ball sized hail. But there is the potential 100% chance that you've got golf ball sized hail inside that cell, and the hail impact on that is going to be the largest So bigger than a potential wind or tornado impact right now. All right, let's see. Let me go back to Facebook. We've got more questions coming in. How is it for Bullard? Tara, I'd take precaution for large hail in Bullard, heavy rain. Rachel wants to know if it will hit Tyler. No. Mel Harper, I'm going to say Flint is not in the clear. Close, but not quite. It's too early to make that assumption just right now. I'd stay ready in Flint. Certainly from thunderstorm, you're going to get a thunderstorm now. Whether or not you get the hail core, it's almost going to be drifting, I think, just a little bit too far. It's going to drift south of Flint. Let me turn back on the radar, but you can see this is a pretty big cell. In fact, if we look at outside from our camera here at CBS19, we're seeing quite a bit of there it is, quite a bit of lightning that's flashing. So anywhere in Smith County, you're seeing lightning flashing off to the distance, in the distance to the south. To the north, you're probably not seeing anything in the way of lightning. By the way, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect for most of East Texas until 1 a.m., though now that these cells have moved south of, say, almost out of Smith County, I would expect that Henderson, Smith County, Gregg County was included in the watch, so was Harrison and Marion counties. I think they're going to be dropped from the watch pretty soon here. But the watch will probably stay in effect until later tonight for Rusk County, Panola County, Cherokee, and Anderson County. And of course, in Deep East Texas, it may take up until 1 a.m. to get rid of the severe thunderstorm watch. But we currently don't have any warnings now. Well, yes, we do. We still have that one cell down to the south in San Augustine County that is still warned at this time till 8:45. So that is for about another 3 minutes. We'll see if that gets extended up into southern parts of Shelby County. But if I turn off the radar and check out the hail there, the hail on this cell has not been as large. There has been some showing up, but not as much. Let's see if I can pop that on there and see. Yeah, there's tiny little hail cells at this time, or hailstones at this time. In fact, right, you can see them right kind of showing up, the little gray area. This gray area is back toward Broadus. So that is, let's go back to radar, and I'll zoom back out. I want to go back to that hail core. So Flint is in the thunderstorm right now. The hail core itself, I'm almost going to tell you in Flint that you might be, I think you're going to be fine. Yeah, Flint, you're fine. I think that was Mel. Flint, you're fine from the hail core. Hail cores come down a little bit too. It looks like now it's down to the size of at least quarters. So quarter to golf ball size, again, that's radar estimated. So if these pop-up storms that make me worry, says Kelly, will there be anything in Nacogdoches? There may be. The thunderstorms are expected to increase as the night goes on. At least that's what our high-resolution data would suggest, so that we would eventually see something as the cell would pass, as these cells would work their way southward down into Deep East Texas, the cell from Mejia toward Jacksonville and south of Tyler. So the front, there's the front. The front itself, again, is sitting now south of Tyler, and everything is going to be developing south of the front. So there's your frontal boundary. That's why the watch was extended where it is, because the front is moving southward. So can't rule out that there wouldn't be additional development south of the front anywhere, and maybe a few thunderstorms or these thunderstorms here, but I would think that anywhere here we could see additional thunderstorms, and then they would move southeastward as the evening went on. So can't rule out Nacogdoches seeing some showers and thunderstorms before the night is said and done. Right now, still quiet there, and so I would just hold on and give it about another hour or so and see if anything can develop. But going into this on Friday, I talked about these showers and thunderstorms being widely scattered. So I didn't think it was widespread, and I thought some of us could miss out on rain. That's certainly a possibility. Chris and Jessica want to know about Jacksonville. Let's zoom in on Jacksonville, because it does look like that cell that I was talking about is trying to turn southeast. So it's kind of trying to make a right-hand turn here, trying to spread down toward Jacksonville. So if that's the case, then Jacksonville, let's track that. It's tough to track a storm when it's you have one direction on it, 30 miles an hour, and then it begins to just move a little bit in a different direction. But let's assume that leading edge of the heaviest rain there is moving more southeastward, still at 30 miles an hour. The speed's not going to change. So that would put it in Jacksonville about 8:57. So that means you have heavy rain, lots of lightning. You're going to lightning and torrential downpours with this cell are going to be notable and memorable out of this one. But I need to try to move the cities over here so we can go through those. We had Cove Springs right now, Jacksonville in about 11 minutes, New Summerfield around 9:10, Gallatin about 9:16, and New Salem around 9:26, and Rusk about 9:30, and Atoy about 9:41. So that's when that cell would make it to those areas. So, all right, let me widen that back out. I'm going to turn off the sweeping radar, and we'll check out the hail core again on that and see if the hail core has come down. It still looks like it's a fairly good hail core between Coffee City and Frankston right now, but it does look like it's going to miss Flint, likely now going to miss Teaselsville, and it looks like it's going to miss Bullard. So maybe more toward Berryville, Frankston, Cooney, Mount Selman, and Cove Springs. So it's sort of turned a little bit farther to the southeast for you. All right, I'll back that up so you can see what we're talking about. And again, the hail core has come down appreciably. It has come down a lot, so that's good news. We're down to quarters on that hail core. Still, the severe thunderstorm warning that is ongoing until 9:15 for parts of southern Smith County and northern Cherokee County. Does not include the city of Tyler. By the way, the city of Tyler is not inside that hail core that we know of. Let me go back. I'm going to check with the Weather Service and see if they've got any new updates. They did allow the severe thunderstorm warning in San Augustine County to expire, and it looks like, let's see, nothing new on that cell. No reports from anyone. If anybody lives out in the Coffee City, Frankston area, and you can safely send in a photo to us that shows the size of the hail, we would appreciate that. Again, radar sometimes will overestimate the size, but bringing you up to date, the severe thunderstorm warning, Anderson, Henderson County, that's a new one that goes until 9 o'clock. And then we have this one in Smith County until, let me go through all the warnings. There's been a few that have come in. Till 9:15. So Cherokee and Smith County till 9:15. So about another half hour on that cell, and that is because of its Berryville's about ready to get into that hail core as we speak. So it's right on the tip of Berryville. But again, it's going to miss Bullard now and miss Teaselsville. So, all right. Wondering if, let me talk to the Director Brandon, if we can maybe do a kind of join on air for a quick cut in on CBS 19 just to bring folks up to date in that area, kind of clear some areas out. And if we can do that, Brandon, let me know if the hub can put us on for about a couple minutes, maybe next time we get to a break or something of that nature. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So the next time we have a break, we're going to pop on CBS 19 just to bring folks up to date. Dime size, hail in Berryville. Thank you, Brenda. Brenda, thank you. That is so helpful. So that would say that our radar is estimating maybe up to quarter-sized hail, but we just got a report in Berryville, and we'll see if we get another scan here of some dime-sized hail. So, Brenda, let me know if it gets if the hail gets a little larger here within about the next 5 to 10 minutes. Pea-sized hail in Lake Palestine, that's the Chandler side of the lake. Okay, that'll jibe with what we have going on with the hail core there. Great report. Thank you very much, Amy. Appreciate that. It's going to miss Troop now. Yes, Mrs. Troop. Troop was okay. Hailing on Lake Palestine, says Nicole. All right, that's what we thought was passing through Coffee City on Lake Palestine. Any ideas? Again, we just had a report with some pea-sized hail there, so that's That's going to be better than having golf ball sized hail. Quarter sized hail, or it technically is a severe warning storm, but quarter sometimes not as damaging as say golf ball sized hail or certainly tennis ball sized hail. You start getting in the order of 2.5 to 3 inch hailstones. Now you're starting to do some damage to roofs and things of that nature. So it looks like that the heaviest part of the cell right now, the heaviest rain is in Frankston and in Coffee City, with the hail core that has moved over toward Berryville. In fact, if I do the estimated 1 hour rainfall rate here, Moore Station to Coffeyville, you're talking about 3/4 of an inch to 1.25 inch an hour rainfall. So it likely pouring rain, but some of that may be some hail contamination. So it thinks that that was heavy rainfall, and it ended up actually being some hail inside that. Looking at the winds, we do have some rotation within those cells, but that stands to reason when you have a larger hail producer. And it now looks like that hail core has come down a little bit more. That's in Berryville with that report of dimes. That would make sense right there. So this is good news to see this. Frankston is on the north side of that, or the cell is north of you, the hail core itself. The cell itself is hitting Frankston pretty hard with some heavy rainfall. It looks like the hail core in that pink area is about ready to pass over 155 and be just southeast of Coffee City, or as we said, over toward right there at Berryville. So the hail core is in Berryville. It's just going to stay south of Eagles Bluff Boulevard and FM 855 West. Fred Yusuf wants to know about Tyler. You're in the clear. Tyler's in the clear. In fact, it's probably not going to rain tonight in Tyler. If it does, it's a shower. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just stay streaming then. All right. Pea-sized Chandler side of the lake. We got that report. And, okay, that was passed with some pea-sized hail also at Lake Palestine. All right, let's see, what program are we in? I guess we could probably go on for just a minute or two just to bring folks up to date, and then I'll go back to streaming. Just kind of remind everybody they can come back over and watch us on the stream. So that might be, Brandon, let me know when we can do that. Appreciate everybody staying with us here on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. A lot of great questions coming in tonight. I'm so hopeful, so thankful that I can help you all. Canton is in the clear, by the way, right now. Let's see, this was Mariana. What about Kilgore? Kilgore in the clear. Not going to see any severe storms tonight in Kilgore. Bullard, again, that cell's going to miss Bullard. At least the hail core is going to miss Bullard. You are getting some thunderstorms in Bullard at this time. And Troop is also going to see just a little bit of like rain and thunder, but the hail core itself has moved more so into northern Cherokee County. Let me go on in there. And let me check one thing out here. We are trying to coordinate with our master control to get on and talk about just a brief break-in on CBS19 over programming, so I'll try to keep it really short there. Okay. Somebody was asking about Mount Alba. Hi everyone, I'm CBS19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony. We're just breaking in here over programming on CBS19 just to bring you an update on a severe thunderstorm cell that is moving through southern Smith County. We're going to go back to our coverage on CBS19 Plus in just a second, and on our YouTube stream, which you can watch all the coverage over there, and on our Facebook channel. But for those of you that didn't know we were covering the storm because you're watching the programming, well, I got to tell you about this just because we want to give you a heads up on a pretty good cell that is moving through southern Smith County. In fact, it's moving more into northern Cherokee County right now. It's just moved into Berryville with some dime-sized hail. It had some larger hailstones as it was crossing from Henderson County into Smith County across Lake Palestine, but it has weakened to the point where we're getting some good news out of this. In fact, the hail core may have come up just a little bit in Berryville, but again, the last report we had from one of our viewers and one of our friends on Facebook was that we were just seeing some dime-sized hail. Let me track this cell for you. It's moving to the east at 30 miles an hour and kind of drifting now to the more to the southeast. As you can see, the yellow box there kind of gives us an idea of the movement in the track. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning cell till 9:15, southern Smith County and again, northern Cherokee County. So where is it possibly headed at this time? Well, Mount Selman and Mixon, New Summerfield and Salem would also be in the path of this hail core that could have some quarter-sized hail. And that's really the biggest threat. There's a little bit of a wind threat. There's certainly a low tornado threat, but I think there's no tornado threat at all. Okay, let me clear this out for us, and we'll go back and take a look at our radar. We're going to put our radar over top of that. We'll widen things out just to give you perspective on what we're seeing here tonight. And we do have, again, widely scattered showers, thunderstorms. It's certainly not widespread. There's just a couple of these. In fact, places like Mineola and Gilmer and Longview and Kilgore and even Tyler will not see any severe weather tonight. You might get a shower as the evening goes on, but really the concerns will be more towards southern Anderson County, more toward, say, Houston County, where that big cell out to the west near Buffalo along Interstate 45, that's moving south and eastward. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning cell over in San Augustine County at 8:45. That was allowed to expire. We still have this severe warned storm in Cherokee and southern Smith County until 9:15. Again, City of Tyler is north of that warning and not going to be included in it. The hail core itself, let me go back to the hail core so I can sort of answer any questions that someone may have about, well, is it going to hit Teaselsville? No, it's going to miss Teaselsville. Is it going to hit Flint? No, it's going to miss Flint. Bullard, likely now going to miss Bullard. Troop, it's going to miss Troop. So I tweeted out and put something on Facebook about potential for some damage from hailstones, but this is certainly not going to be an issue for that. In fact, that hail core has come down now to some nickel-sized hail. And from reports on Facebook, from several reports we're getting on Facebook, I'm just so grateful for the folks there helping us track the storm. We are just seeing some reports of dime-sized hail, which is not considered to be a severe cell. It has to be quarters or larger for that to be considered a severe cell. All right, so tell you what I'm going to do. With that in mind, I'll give you one more look, and then we're going to go back to regular programming. We will continue, and if you want to continue tracking the storm with us, please go over to our CBS 19 Plus stream. We have it there. If you have a tablet or your phone, you want to go to our YouTube page, you can do that and follow us there, or get on Facebook and also follow us there. So I'm going to tell the control room, send it back to programming. For the rest of us, I'll take just a short break, and we'll continue the coverage over on CBS 19 Plus. On CBS 19 Plus and on our Facebook page, we continue to have a severe thunderstorm warning, 9:15. Looks like we just had a little addendum to this. May have been a reissue on that cell. Extended a little farther out into southern Smith County and northeastern parts of Anderson County for that cell. That cell is producing some heavy rain, lots of lightning. In fact, let me put the lightning tracker back on it. You can see all the lightning strikes that we're picking up. And the lightning counter itself, let me see if I can turn that back on. I may not have that available to me, but I can use a different method to see the lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes, especially over Frankston. Just 28 lightning strikes, so that's better than what we've had. Across the whole area, we were up to 238 strikes in 15 minutes on some of these cells as they were moving into East Texas. Looks like rain has developed around White House, but again, you are in the warning, but you're not part of the warned hail core at this time. There's a cell over by Carthage, thunderstorm over by Carthage, but not warned at this time, and that'll cross over into Louisiana pretty quickly. So I'm going to go back to the hail core since that's really the bigger story, and that is even coming down substantially. So we're losing, of course, we've lost daytime heating. Temperatures are starting to cool. The front has moved south of Tyler now. The front is likely, if we put the radar back on, the front itself is going to be over southern Smith County. And so as the front moves farther and farther to the south, the chance for severe weather will also move farther and farther south. There is a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know that we're going to make it till 1 o'clock in the morning with the severe thunderstorm watch. They'll probably expire that a little bit sooner. Currently at 75 degrees, the winds are out of the north, and you can see the lightning looking off to the west and to the northwest. We are seeing the sky lightening up with lots of lightning. All right, let me go back to the severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until 1 a.m. We'll see if some of these counties, Smith County may get dropped from that watch. Gregg County, Marion, Harrison County will likely get dropped from the watch within the next hour or so. All right, let me go back to Facebook, answer a couple questions real fast for us, and then as we do that, let's see. Oh, you were about to say something about Mount Alba before the other program came through. Oh, yeah. Amanda, I think Mount Alba is going to be fine. You do have a pretty good thunderstorm in that area, but let me see if I can get a track on the Mount Alba area. So let's see. Oops, I got back here. All right, so you're kind of in between the thunderstorms here between Fairfield and Massey Lake and Frankston in that Mount Alba area. And unless this cell decides to move more to the east, it's going to split you and you will miss out. Certainly not going to have anything other than some rain showers and maybe some light breeze, and that's about it. The hail core on that cell out to the west is definitely not tracking toward Mount Alba at this time. Let me put the hail back on. What happened to the hail? Oh, I know why. We got to go back to the other radar image. All right, let's go back to the hail core near Fairfield and a couple hail. That bigger, larger hail core out toward Groesbeck, that is tracking due south. So yeah, there's nothing heading toward Mount Alba right now. There you are. You're in the clear. The other storms have just kind of danced around you. So Mount Alba's in the clear. You're good for the rest of the night. No worries about severe weather. Now again, it could rain, it could thunder a little bit more, but the severe weather is going to be farther south of where you are at this time. Okay, is that hail coming to Henderson, Texas? No, not the hail that is, no, Henderson, let's see. That has moved south and east. That hail core is going to miss Henderson. You can see how that warning was just extended southeastward, and it's come down quite a bit. So Henderson's going to be okay. Is Rusk going to get hail? You might get a little bit if that hail core can peak back up a little bit, but you can see it's weakened so much, and Rusk is just sitting there to the north of that. If you do get anything, it'll be some small hail in Rusk. Okay, what about White House? You had a shower, but White House will not get that hail core. It misses. Tyler is done for the night. Yes, Pamela, done for the night. Now, will it shower overnight? Possibly behind the front, but in terms of severe weather threat, Tyler is done for the night. Let's see, Shannon said it's hailing in Bullard. Is it still hailing in Bullard? Let me know. How long ago was that? Because it should have moved south and east of Bullard. And if it is, let me know the size of the hail. I may have to double check on a couple things here. Yeah, what I'm looking at here is something called vertically integrated liquid. This gives me an idea of the amount of ice inside the cell, the amount of water that's being loaded into the thunderstorm. And so sometimes severe thunderstorm warnings are based just on this alone, because it'll give you the strength, kind of gives you a range of the strength of the thunderstorm and how powerful a downdraft could be if all of the water were to just suddenly fall out of the thunderstorm. So the fact that that's piled up like that says that there is some hail inside that. The hail track here, let me show you the hail track on that cell. It definitely missed. It went from Moore Station to College Station, Coffeyville, through Berryville, and it continues to weaken as it heads out toward Mount Selman. Okay, so that's let's see in the hail zone. This is going to give us a forecast of where that is headed in the short term. And it looks like there it goes. So it had it a little farther to the north and over toward Bullard. So let me know in Bullard. Hailing in Teasellville also. Okay, so our hail tracker might be a little bit off because it had it south of Teasellville, but is it, well, our hail the hail zone may have covered that a little bit better. So that's potentially where some of that hail could have possibly fallen outside of the thunderstorm. Let's go back to the sweeping radar. And everything should be, the hail should be pretty much done. If it is, it's very small hail at this time. If there's a bigger hailstone, it's got to be east of Frankston. So just let me know. BB, you're welcome. Anything coming towards Troop? Not anymore. Nah, Troop is out of it. Let's see, Tyler's done for the night. What about Flint and Bullard off 69? Yeah, done for, outside of thunderstorms or rain. You can see there's some rain in Teaselsville and Bullard. But the hail core itself has moved south of those areas. There's still some lightning, still a thunderstorm around Bullard and up toward Flint, as far north as Flint. But as far as the severe part of the cell, the part that we were worried about in terms of the hail core that would be producing larger hail, that has moved to the south of those areas. In fact, I'll go back to the hail. I'm going to use two different things here, just two different indicators so I can match things up, and it looks like that is matching up. So the liquid inside the storm is matching up with the hail core inside the storm, and the larger hail core is near Frankston toward CUNY. There could be a couple hailstones thrown out toward Teaselsville and up toward Bullard, but if there are, I just don't imagine that they're very large, but you guys have to tell me what you're seeing. What is the weather for Jacksonville, Texas? Jacksonville, you're probably going to get a big thunderstorm coming in here with a lot of rain and thunder and maybe a little bit of hail, and that's going to happen within the half hour. So you can see that cell sitting right there to the northwest of Jacksonville, up toward Mount Selman and Teaselsville. Let's see. And I don't think it hits Henderson. It looks like it's going to dive southeast of Henderson. What about the Mount Enterprise area? Mount Enterprise, we'll keep an eye on it because that cell, if it were to track, let's say it has to track, and it could because it's moving, again, east, southeast, but it would have to make almost a due southeast path before it would start to move down toward Mount Enterprise. So it may, I'm just going to say, hold on in Mount Enterprise, and let's see, get another scan or two in here and see where this cell is headed, because right now it doesn't look like it's headed in that toward Mount Enterprise. It looks like it's going to maybe even miss it to the west. It's weakening. Now, I bet now you're going to get you'll get some rain and thunder in Mount Enterprise, but that hail core itself is weakening substantially off of this. Looks like it's down to nickel-sized hail. And the size of the hail core is much smaller than it was. Let me go back to the hail zone and the hail tracks. The hail zone is anywhere where we've had reports of some hail. So that's possible that we've had some hail up in the Bullard toward Mount Selman, and that would move over toward Blackjack and New Summerfield. But the warning goes all the way south of Jacksonville, so I think that's where will it hit Carthage? It has to hold together to hit Carthage. That's tough to say just as far away as it is. Right now the hail zone doesn't take it toward Carthage. It keeps it south of Carthage. If you follow that, if you follow this path of the direction that it's moving, I'll draw the straight line out of it. So it's basically going like this, going down more toward Laneville and Tenahall than anywhere. And if I put that back into motion, you'll see that it definitely has that kind of southern movement, just kind of drifting south at the same time it's moving to the east. All right. We got a couple pieces for maybe 3 to 5 seconds in Bullard. All right, Nathan, thank you very much. Appreciate that. So just a little bit of hail. Kristen wants to know about Flint. Outside of rain and thunder in Flint, there's no threat of severe weather for the rest of the night. There's the cell itself, and I'll zoom in on Flint. You can see there's probably some thunder and lightning and a bit of it, maybe just a little bit of wind, but the worst part of that cell now has crossed all the way over into northwestern Cherokee County. So the worst part of the cell is between Frankston and CUNY right now, and that's where you could see some hail. Bullard still has a rumble of thunder. Teaselsville, a rumble of thunder. Back toward White House, you're getting that rumble of thunder toward Flint. Now it looks like the rain is letting up in Flint, certainly has let up in noonday. In White House, there are some showers over toward New Chapel Hill. ARP has some rain coming down right now, a little bit of rain in Overton, but in terms of the severe weather, the severe thunderstorm warnings, if they are south of your area, then you are done for the night, because there's not going to be anything behind it that develops, just because everything that's is developing is out ahead of the front. I mean, one more little sweep through here of questions, and let's see. Yes, Longview's going to miss rain again. I know, Tracy. We need rain. That's the thing. No hail in Flint. What about Marshall? Marshall's clear for the night. It's not going to. It may rain in Marshall a little bit. You can see there's a little bit showing up on radar. But there's some lightning to your south toward east of Carthage, but that's all you're going to see the rest of the night. Still hailing in Teasville. All right, Jamie, tell me about the size of it, the size of the hail. Because I'll zoom back in here, and that is on the northwest side of it. And let's see. I mean, okay. There might be a couple of hailstones getting thrown out of the back end of that, but the true hail core is much smaller than it was. We can hear a little bit of thunder here in the Leverage Chapel area. Yeah, Frankston just got hail. Yes, Tanya, yeah, Frankston was definitely in that hail core. Hopefully it wasn't too large. It looks like it should have been in the order of maybe nickels, maybe nickels or dimes. And all right. All right, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in with us here tonight on our stream on CBS 19 Plus and on our Facebook page. We're going to get ready for the late news. Can't call it the CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock. We had basketball on. Basketball ended just before 7 o'clock, so that pushes CBS 19 News back tonight till about 10 till 11. The thunderstorms are probably going to be all out of here by that time, but I do appreciate everybody taking their time out this evening to spend some time with us. Again, the biggest cell we have right now is in northwestern parts of Cherokee County. That's going to move into Jacksonville. Could be a little bit of hail with that. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning with that cell until 9:15. Maybe I'll just stay on for another 2 minutes to see what happens with these cells, to see if this gets extended. There was the larger part of the cell that got extended back to 9:30 here. That's probably going to be this part of the cell that was showing up with having the quarters. But my prediction here would be at about a minute and a half, Smith County is going to be clear from any severe thunderstorm warnings for the rest of the night, as even the moderate rainfall has moved out of Smith County, and that warning would end at 9:15. Let me see from the Weather Service if they are making any plans to extend the warning. But, all right, let's see. Getting reports of quarters in Frankston, which lined up, half-inch Berryville or dimes. That's about half-inch. 3/4 of an inch is considered severe, but still, get some hail. Let's see. There was a report of some golf ball-sized hail in Berryville a little while ago, but. All right, so it looks like hold on, I gotta apologize for that white screen popping up here. So we now have the new severe thunderstorm warning for more of Henderson County, Cherokee County. More of Cherokee County, City of Rusk, New Summerfield until 10:15. So they've extended that out about an hour. All right, so that means that we know now what's going to happen with that severe thunderstorm warning. We'll continue scrolling the information across the bottom of the screen. Annette wanted to know about hail in Tyler. No. And then Jamie said marble size a little larger. And Kathy Jones, you are welcome. Absolutely. Glad we could help out here tonight. We appreciate everybody who hopped on Facebook and watched. There were a lot of you guys. Appreciate that, almost 200. And on our streaming channel on CBS 19 Plus, and of course on our YouTube channel. You can always like, subscribe, and share on our YouTube if you want to keep other friends up to date, because we will do streams on all 3 platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, and over the air, like we did tonight, just to bring some folks up to date on what was happening. All right, y'all have a great night. We will see you after about 11 o'clock in the evening. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.